Happy August, everyone. Today is August 1st. I know it's been at least a couple of weeks since I've made a garden update video, so let's take a gander. Starting in the far back, our glass gem corn is starting to tassel. Some of the larger plants haven't really shot up their tassels yet, but they're forming at least. I was kind of worried about the tasseling being kind of inconsistent and leading to poor pollination, but plants are actually starting to catch up now. I was thinking I messed up the fertilization when these things were young and maybe gave some too much. I mean, this plant right here, it's just starting to form tassels now, even though you can't see them yet. You can feel them if you go up to it and inspect it more closely. But that thing is already almost 9 feet tall, and it hasn't even shot out its tassel yet, so I hope it produces a lot of ears, because it's pretty insanely big. It's got a really thick stalk too. So much bigger than everything else. But yeah, we got some tassels, we got some silking going on. This plant has 3 already, just right off the rip. That one in there's got at least, oh, it's got 2. Yeah, so definitely gonna get some ears. Really excited to see how this stuff looks in person. I've never actually grown it. I've grown lots of ornamental, like traditional Indian corn varieties. Just some basic flint corns, but never glass gems, so I'm really excited about that. Green beans are on their way out, even though they're still producing. They're getting really tough now, later in the season as things get dry. I try to keep up with the watering, but yeah, they're just kind of pushing out a season now. Here's my mammoth gray stripe. That's going on about 8.5 feet tall. The American giant next to it's much smaller. It's already all headed out. Starting to droop over. Got it tied up so it doesn't like fall over too soon. Got these little baby volunteer sunflowers that obviously didn't turn out so well because this is like rock hard clay and sand over here. Here's my experimental Big Max pumpkin. I've never really grown pumpkins, let alone giant pumpkins, so had some vine borers do quite a bit to it, but I sprayed some 7 all over it, and it took them out pretty quickly, and so they ate the main vine away. But this is a sucker, and on this sucker we have a pollinated female flower. Now you see that's yellow. That's how this variety is. These larger pumpkins, they don't go from green to orange, they go from a pale yellow to a like creamy orange. And this is what happens when you underestimate deer. Some deer got up to our patio beds and destroyed, at least partially destroyed, 2 tomato plants, a cherry tomato and a Cherokee purple. We still got a lot of tomatoes off this one. The deer also ate a lot. They also got some lower sunflower leaves, but the sunflowers themselves were more than tall enough to be out of harm's way. Got a volunteer lemon queen there. Bee on it actually right now. Yeah, these produce a lot of heads here. Nothing too special about the color though. Pretty traditional yellow sunflower color. Got an interesting morning glory setup this year. I figured I'd show you guys. We had it like hooked right here. This twine that it's climbing. We had it hooked from here to here, but these things really only want to grow upwards. So this eventually fell. That hook, you can see it right there, and they just kept taking off right back up to the roof, the ceiling. Got some flowers on them though. Very pretty. Now I am just ecstatic about how this sunflower bed is turning out. Sort of a last second decision to plant this earlier in the season, and oh man, the efforts to protect these guys from deer, they've had to be next level this year. I'm going to make a separate video on that. About just how ridiculous it's gotten. But yeah, I'll show these guys off here. This is a chocolate cherry that got huge. I did not think these things could even get this big, let alone in this spot. I mean, they get good morning sun here, but they don't get a crazy amount of sun. Not enough to get this big, I didn't think. It's got about 30 blooms on it. Italian white next to it. Much smaller variety, but it's about to bloom as well. Here is a magic roundabout. It's just starting to flower. Let's see if I can get a good lighting on this. Oh, maybe not. I'll throw some pictures in here as well. Very cool. It's like a creamy yellow with a very dark burgundy inner like ring of fire pattern. Have a lot more heads on it to go. Here's probably my favorite that I've grown this year. This is a chocolate cherry. Very deep, solid burgundy petals. Very pretty. There's another Italian white getting ready to flower. Much bigger chocolate cherry. That thing's gonna be like too big. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Another roundabout ready to open. Another chocolate cherry in bloom. And an Italian white at the end here. So our final stop here is the front yard sunflower. Now I don't know if you guys remember the American Giant I had here before. It got to about 2 feet tall and deer destroyed it. They completely destroyed it. I had a thin piece of bird netting protecting it, and well, boy have I learned to take that netting protection more seriously. I actually got netting specifically to repel deer. It's just got a slightly thicker mesh on it, so it makes it a bit sturdier. It's also easier to deal with. But yeah, I planted this on July 11th. The latest I've ever planted a sunflower in the season, but that should be a fun experiment. It'll give everyone a nice bloom in the early fall to enjoy. And so this is how the kink has been healing up. Deer actually tried to eat it when it was very small. They tried to eat it again, my replacement, through the netting I had over it, like draped, like extended across it like this. They tried to eat right down on top of it still, and it broke it. But it's been healing since I splinted it up like this, and with this rock as well for additional support. So it's only about 2 weeks old, and it's doing very well. So that's it for this garden update. Hope you all enjoyed. I look forward to making more of these as things start to really get into bloom now. So yeah, that's it. Take care, guys.